Hello and welcome to the Old Lumens channel. Today I have a flashlight to review. This is the newest version of the Thorfire PF04 2AAA flashlight. It takes two AAA batteries, alkaline or NIM. And I just thought I'd go through a review of what came in. It comes in a little cardboard box, and when you first open it up, you see a little card that says happy, and then a manual, and the little card is to say that if you're happy with your light, to please do a review. It doesn't say anything about please do a review if you're unhappy with your light, but we won't worry about that. It has a little manual. Describes everything about it. It's fairly extensive, tells you how the light operates in the different parts, so it's pretty good. I'm going to go through some of the specs real quick here. And this flashlight has 3 modes: moonlight, low, and high. Tail switch controls all the functions and turns the light off and on. At the lowest output of 1 lumen, it should run 240 hours. On the middle setting, which is 50 lumens, it should run 3 hours and 45 minutes. At the highest setting, which is 210 lumens, it should run 55 minutes. Distance of 50 meters max. Intensity 2200 CD max. Impact resistance 1 meter. Waterproof IPX8 underwater 2 meters. Okay, technical parameters. It has a Cree XPG2R5, uses 2 AAA batteries, approximately 134 millimeters in length and 14 millimeters in diameter. Approximate weight is 22 grams without the battery. Tail cap switch for on, off, and output. Changes, aircraft grade aluminum, high efficiency reflection lens. Okay, that's what the manual says. Anyways, when you when you open up the box, you have a foam padding. Take out here, you have the light itself, which is in a little plastic sleeve here, bubble wrap sleeve. Then you have 2 extra O-rings which go in the tail, and some more foam padding. Alright, now I've been playing with this light a little bit myself past couple of days. Overall fit and finish of this light is very good. There's not a mark on it anywhere, and I'll take the tail cap off here now. It's already pre-lubed. It makes absolutely no noise at all. The threads are not square cut threads, but they're done very nicely. Very good threads. Okay, you have an O-ring there at the end of the tail cap, and the tail cap has the switch inside of it and the rear spring for the negative pole on the battery. Then you have the body and clip right here, and then the head. I have 2 batteries in there already. You have a SMO reflector, smooth reflector, and little glass lens in there, and you can see the XPG2 LED in there. Alright, like I say, it's a very well made little light, and even when you take the head off, the threads have been lubricated, okay, and they're in good condition. See the driver inside of there. I'll do some testing on this and show you what the output I get for is on amperage draw on the different modes, and then we'll do a little bit of beam shot testing on it as well. The only comparison I have with me, which I will do a comparison beam shots, is a 2 AAA mag light. Okay, this is the LED mag light with 2 AAA, about the same length and about the same diameter, except for the head, of course, is larger on the mag light. That's the only comparison I have, and I guess for the US that would be a good comparison, but it probably wouldn't be for the rest of the world. I have both alkaline cells and Eneloop NIM cells, and I'll test the PF04 on both of those. But my initial impression in using this light for a couple days off and on here and there is I really like the light. It's a very nice little light, I think, for carrying in your pocket. It works well with the NIMS. It's very bright. There's been a lot of discussion, or some discussion, about the fact that the tail cap switch is stiff. Yes, it is a little bit stiff, and I think some of it is because the way the rubber boot is right up here, prominent, that I think it makes it a little harder to push the switch, because the switch itself is just, it wouldn't be that stiff. But to me, that's not a bad thing. The boot is raised, so it's easier for me to get to my fingers, to change it. And half press is really easy to change modes. The other thing that I've seen discussion of is the modes themselves. When you first put batteries into this light, it will turn on high, okay? And I know people say, well, I don't like that, but it has mode memory. So whatever the last mode is that you used, that's the mode it's going to start back up on, unless you change batteries. So to me, it's a little bit of a moot point, because, if I want moonlight, I'll turn it off on moonlight. When I turn it back on again, it's on moonlight. If I want medium, I turn it off on medium. I turn it back on again, it's on medium. I mean, it's just one of those things. I think, to me, that's more of a little niggle than making a big deal out of it. That's just my opinion. But overall, like I say, I really like this little light. I like it better than a 2 AAA mag light. It's slimmer, it fits into the pocket better, and I prefer a little bit of a floaty beam rather than a real pinpoint beam like a mag light does. So overall, I really do and have enjoyed playing around with this light. But like I say, I'll do some amp draws here, and then this evening I'll do a little bit of a beam shot comparison. All right, so I'll be back in a little bit, and thank you. Okay, I've done my amp draws on this, and on high, I get 1.09 amps. On the low setting, I get 0.16 amps. And on the moonlight setting, I get no reading at all, because, 1 lumen, it's just so low that I can't read with my meter. It's not fancy enough for that. So those are the readings: 1.09 amps on high, and that's stabilized after 30 seconds, and 0.16 amps on the low setting. Okay, that is using 2 Eneloop NIM cells, and I'll do it again also with alkaline cells. Okay, I've done this with alkaline cells, and I'm really sort of surprised, and it's probably because of the increased voltage. With 2 AA alkaline cells, I get 1.10 amps on high, and 0.17 amps on low. And again, no reading on the moonlight mode. But I think that's just because you have a higher voltage with 2 AA cell or AA alkalines. Sorry about that. I can't talk anymore. You're going to be 3 volts, where even with fully charged NIM cells, you're not going to be quite at 3 volts. So the little bit of a voltage increase probably allows for the little bit of an amperage increase. Anyways, that's what I get for amp draws on this thing, and I will do beam shots later on this evening. Thanks. Also, in comparison, on a 2 AAA LED mag light, I get, of course, 1 mode, and I get an amp draw with alkalines of 0.37 amps, and that's it. So you can see, definitely, I think we'll find that the mag light, though it may have a pinpoint beam, it certainly is not going to have the lumen output of even close to anything like the Thorfire will. Number 1, because of the LED, and number 2, because of only running 0.37 amps for the single mode. Anyways, like I say, beam shots later. Thanks.